Hello you guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm doing a collab with Sensible Living with Money Mom and with The Long Run with Joel and Christy. So we're doing Crocktober, and today it was the perfect day to do that because it was a little drizzly, and so it was just the perfect day. So today I'm going to be making some pork ribs in the crock pot. Now they're not barbecue ribs, they're more of a, I'm going to be making more of like a gravy to go on them, and I'll probably be serving them with some mashed potatoes, and I've got some melons over here that I need to use and cut those up. So I'll probably make a melon salad. And let me get all this stuff together and I will show you what I'm doing. So what I'm doing right now is I just cut up a bunch of onions. I've got all of the discard part I got over here in a bowl. See this little bowl right here? And so I'm going to use the discard from my onions for some veggie broth at a later time. I'll just put all that in the freezer. When the bag gets full, then I'll put it in there. But what I was wanting to know is, I wanted to show you guys this little thing. I do not have a like a code or anything for you to use, but I just wanted to know if you guys have ever used one of these little chop things. They are so awesome. Watch. See? Like all I had to do is cut these, well I probably didn't even have to, but I did. Cut all of these onions in like quarters, and then I push it down, and it gives me all these chopped onions. And so then, if I do this once, I only have to dirty this thing one time. Then, I put all these in the freezer, then I have a whole bunch of chopped onions frozen ready to go. So, I just want to show you this, and no, I do not have a code or anything for you to use, but if you don't have one of these, I would highly recommend them. They make this so super simple. Alright, so I'm going to continue doing this, and then whenever I'm done, I will show you what we're going to do next. So what I'm doing now is, I'm going to coat these pork ribs front and back with what I call house seasoning, which is salt and pepper and garlic powder and onion powder. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on that side, flip these over. By the way, these are like country style ribs, so they have bones in them still. So that's what I'm going to do with all these ribs, and then I will take them to the stove. So in the pan I have a little bit of oil and also a little bit of butter. We don't need a ton because it'll make their, it'll make its own, but what we're going to do first is cook up some onions and garlic and flavor this oil before I put the ribs in there to brown. So we will start with the onions. There we go. Get those cooking up and sweating a little bit before we put in the garlic. So these look like they're done. I did put some fresh chopped garlic in there, and so what I'm going to do now is take all of this out because I really just wanted to flavor the pan, and then I'll put the ribs in. So I took the onions and garlic out, put them in a separate bowl here, and now I'm going to add my ribs into this pot. And this pan is really, really warm, so it's going to be really noisy. And I'm not trying to cook these through. What I'm trying to do is just get some color on them. Hoping I could get all of them in there. Nope. So that one will just have to wait for the second round. So I'm just going to get some color on these. I'll turn them over, get the color on the other side, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, I forgot this part. So I'm going to put on some Worcestershire if I can get the lid off. Hang on. caught it. Not a lot. But just enough to give it some flavor. And then I'm going to turn these over, see what they look like. Ooh, yum. So we're not trying to cook these through. We're just putting color on them. And it's really hard to turn them while I'm trying to make sure the camera is getting it. It's okay though. We're making do here. Oh. There we go. Alright, so we'll get those with some color and I'll be right back with you. I got these browned up and put in here. I know it doesn't show that they're very brown, but they are. I got a nice brown on them, and so now we will make the gravy for the top. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to make the gravy for the top. So I am actually using beef broth. I'm going to do 4 cups or so. Which is this whole thing. And you can use chicken broth. You can do however you want. I'm going to put my beef broth in here. I'm just using that because I don't have any chicken broth at the moment. And I didn't want to make any. I can make some, but I didn't want to do that. So, it's going to be that. 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. And honestly, this is more of a binder to make it just a little bit thicker. And I'm not going to be adding any more salt to this because I'll show you here in a minute. There's going to be, ooh, boy, that was loud. Salt in the cream of mushroom soup. But I'm also going to be adding 2 gravy packets. Brown gravy. You can use whatever kind of gravy. Maybe you have some pork gravy packets. That'd be great. But this is what I'm going to do because this is what I have. This is one of those things where you just use what you have, and honestly, it's going to be delicious no matter what. Yeah, it'll be great. And I'm probably going to put let's see, I'll probably make some mashed potatoes later. I'm going to stir this up a bit. And then we'll add everything else. Again, probably should have worn an apron, but you know, here we are. Alright, I'm going to add these onions that I took out. Remember I seasoned that pan with the onions? I'm going to add those back in here. But I'm also going to add some of these dehydrated onions because they give so much flavor. I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to add salt, but I am going to add a whole bunch of cracked pepper because we are a pepper family. Alright, there's that. Give it another stir. And like I said, you can add whatever you want in here. These are things that I had in my pantry. And yeah, just add whatever you've got. If you've got like homemade cream of mushroom soup, amazing. If you have cream of chicken soup, sure, try that. Or cream of celery, whatever. It's just for a thickener, honestly. There we go, just to make it not so thin. Alright, so there's that. Okay, we're going to see if I can do this one-handed. Okay. There we go. Got all that in there. Okay, so I am going to put the lid on this. I have it on high right now, but I'm going to keep it on high for a couple of hours because it's a little bit later in the afternoon. It is 1:30. So I'm going to put it on high till about 3:30, And then I'm going to put it on low, and then we will be able to eat around 7. And I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to make some mashed potatoes, and I'll show you what the plates look like when it is done. So I just took this out, and look how tender that is. It all just falls apart. It is perfect. And so what I did with the drippings and the everything that was in here, that gravy mix and whatever, is I just put a little bit of cornstarch water together just to thicken it up. Didn't add anything else, and this is what that looks like, and it's the perfect gravy. This is a little bit heavy, but it is amazing for this time of year. And this is what my plate looks like. I know, that doesn't look that spectacular, but it's going to be delicious, and we already tasted it. It's fabulous. Alright, got the melon salad, and then the potatoes, and the pork, and that gravy mix. Okay, you guys, this next recipe is going to be a dessert recipe. Now, it is a recipe, but it's not an exact recipe, because you could do this with so many different things. But it's 3 ingredients. It is a cake mix, and some apple pie filling, or peach, cherry, blueberry, whatever you want to use, and some butter. Let me turn this around, and I will show you what I got. Alright, so I'm going to use these 2 cans of apple pie filling, and I've got some butter that I've already sliced up for the top, and then the yellow cake mix. Okay, so I have sprayed this, and I put my 2 cans of apple pie filling in here. Like I said earlier, you can use any kind of filling you want. I just happen to have apple pie, and I needed to use them up because they were from last year, and I just got some new ones, so this is the perfect thing. And we're just going to take this yellow butter cake mix. We're just going to dump it on top. And then I'm going to take my hand and press it in. And yes, my hands are clean. I just washed them, in case you're wondering. Gonna do that. Press it down. Just make sure it's all in there. It's all pressed down and in there. Nice and good. Okay. And then I'm going to, if I can get the lid off, okay, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of cinnamon. And I have some chopped pecans. Actually, they're not pecans. What the heck am I talking about? They're not chopped pecans. These ones are walnuts. I just chopped them. So, got that. Then, I've got a bunch of squares of butter. I'm going to put these all over the top. Make sure it's all good and covered. Whoops. It's been out. Now it's sticking together. All right. Just going to put these on the top. All over. That way it gets a good crust on it. Because, you don't want the dry cake mix. And then my butter, some of it was frozen. So, I've got a whole bunch of pieces like this. But that's okay. It's still going to work. I'm going to go in like that. Make sure I get all these little corners. There we go. Oh my gosh, this already smells amazing, you guys. All right. So I didn't originally show you the pecans and the cinnamon because I was just trying to give you the basic recipe, because honestly, you can do this with anything. All right. So now what I'm going to do is put my lid on, and then I am going to cook this. This is really hard to do one-handed. I'm going to cook this on low for about 3 hours because my crock pot is really hot. So I'm going to go with low for about 3 hours, and then I will show you what it looks like And I'm thinking definitely serving this with some ice cream. So I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. And well, in about 3 hours. Yum, look at this. Ice cream. So this dessert really can be made out of anything. It is so good. So what I'm using is some of the cans that I had from last year, and I just started replenishing my stock. So that is what I'm using for this. But you could use home canned, the pie fillings. You could use whatever kind of cake mix you wanted. Ooh, you know what might be good? I just thought of this. Is like using the cherries and then using a chocolate cake mix. That might be good too. So just an idea. But yeah, you can do, the possibilities on this are just really endless. They're amazing. You could also do more of a crumb topping. That would also be good. But definitely go check out Sensible Living with Money Mom's video on this, and also The Long Run with Jill and Christy, and let them know I sent you. And if you're here from their channel, welcome. I'm glad you came over here to check it out. So I will talk to you guys in the next video, and definitely let me know if you made any of these recipes, and I will see you in the next one.